Hello there, I am Tommy Taco. Let's get right into it. I played a game on June 1st. This is the box score. Yankees won 2-1 in a hard-fought contest with the Mariners in Seattle. The Yankees, Aaron Judge and Gleyber Torres, both knocking in runs. The lone Seattle home run was on a home run from Carlos Gonzalez that I'm pretty sure went into the stratosphere. But the Yankees pick up the 2-1 victory. Garrett Cole pitches 8 innings, has 9 strikeouts, only giving up 2 hits again. He's a dream to pitch with. He is 8-5 on the season, and Zach Britton picked up his first save of the year after assuming closing roles from Aroldis Chapman, who has been struggling mightily. So Britton nails it down for his first save of the season. The Yankees defeated Taijuan Walker and took care of business. So 2 runs on 8 hits defeats 1 run on 3 hits. Yankees are 39-22 on the season. Now let's get right into the quick manage. I'm going to quick manage here from the 2nd of June up until this Kansas City series, and then I'm going to pick one of these games to play, and then I will quick manage a couple again, and then I'm going to play one of these Boston's games in Fenway. So let's get right into it. Severino versus Kikuchi. Be a night game in Seattle. The roof is open and clear skies. Let's see. Let's give Judge the day off. Kikuchi's in. You know what? We'll still put in Tauchman, even though it's lefty on lefty. And we'll give Kratz the day off. Sanchez is due back soon, which is good. All right, there we go. We're going to go with LeMahieu, Andujar, Torres, Stanton, Hicks, Voit, Urshela, Tauchman, and Kyle Higashioka coming up next.
Let's play ball.
All right, LeMahieu leading off the first against UC Kikuchi, who's 4-6 with a 3.59 ERA on the season. LeMahieu coming in at 3.08 with 5 homers and 17 ribbies. He'll be followed by Andujar, Torres, and Stanton.
First base.
LeMahieu's hit by a pitch. Andujar is retired on a flyout. Torres strikes out, so there's a runner at first with 2 outs for Giancarlo Stanton. And he flies out. Nothing doing for the Yanks in the first. Bottom of the first now for Seattle. Luis Severino, 6-1 with a 2.85 ERA on the year. Facing D. Gordon, Malik Smith, and Mitch Haniger for the Mariners. And they go down 1-2-3. Top of the second now for the Bronx Bombers, starting with Hicks, followed by Voit, Urshela, and Tauchman. Hicks leads off with a double. Voit strikes out and Urshela walks, so runners at first and second with 1 out for Michael Tauchman. He pops out, and Kyle strikes out. Nothing doing for the Yanks in the second. Bottom 2 now for the Mariners with their cleanup hitter Vogelbach leading off, followed by Cargo and Kyle Seager. Vogelbach singles, and he's on first base with 2 outs as Cargo and Seager strike out. That'll bring up Dom T. Williams, and he singles, so runners at first and second with 2 outs for the catcher, Tom Murphy, who has 13 home runs on the season. Severino strikes him out. Zip after 2. Top of 3 now, leading off with LeMahieu, followed by Andujar and Torres.
And hit him. First base.
Andujar's hit by a pitch, and Gleyber Torres goes big fly, and the Yankees now lead 2-0. Giancarlo Stanton batting now. And he goes big fly, back-to-back jacks for the Bombers. And they now lead 3-0. Can they get to 3 homers in a row with Aaron Hicks? No, he strikes out, and Voit grounds out to end the inning. But the Yankees pick up 3 runs on back-to-back home runs by Gleyber Torres and Giancarlo Stanton. Now we have the Mariners batting in the bottom of the 3rd. J.P. Crawford leading off, followed by Gordon and Malik Smith. And they're retired in order. Top of the 4th now for the New York Yankees, starting with Urshela, followed by Tauchman and Kyle. Urshela singles, as does Tauchman, so now we have runners at first and second with no outs for Kyle.
Ball 4, take the base.
And he walks, so now the bases are juiced for the top of the order. Kikuchi in some trouble now. Let's see what the top of the order can do for the Bombers.
Your attention, please.
Oh, and the Mariners bring in Nestor Cortez, the lefty, to face LeMahieu. Let's see if the Bombers can make them pay. A sac fly for LeMahieu makes it 4-0. Andujar flies out, and Torres is retired. But the Yankees pick up a run and lead 4-0. Bottom of the 4th for the Mariners now, starting with Haniger, Vogelbach, and Cargo. Vogelbach singles, and he's at first with 2 outs, and Seager batting. And Seager hits a 2-run home run to cut the Yankee lead in half, and now the Yankees lead 4-2. Severino strikes out Williams to end the inning, but the Mariners pick up 2 on a home run and trail 4-2. Top 5 now for the Bombers. Stanton singles to lead off the inning. Hicks and Voit will follow him up. Hicks promptly grounds into a double play. Voit walks, and Urshela flies out to end the inning. Bottom of 5 now for the Mariners, starting with the 8-hole hitter, Tom Murphy, followed by Crawford and Gordon. Murphy reaches on an error, and Crawford walks. Sevy in a little bit of trouble now. No outs here in the 5th. D. Gordon strikes out. Malik Smith singles in a run, and the Yankees are only leading by 1 run now, 4-3. Mitch Haniger batting, 1 out, runners at first and second. And he hits a single and knocks in a run, so now the game is tied. Sevy seems to have lost his stuff. Let's see, he's got 4 lefties in a row coming up. Let's see if he can bear down. Mitch Haniger steals second. Vogelbach rounds out, and Cargo flies out, so Sevy gets out of it. But the Mariners tie the game 4-4 after 5. Top of 6 now for the Yankees. Tauchman, Higashioka, and LeMahieu due up. Cortez is still in there. And not as soon as I say that, they replace him with righty Matt McGill, who will face DJ LeMahieu, and he gets him to fly out. So nothing doing for the Yankees in the 6th. Bottom of 6 for the Mariners now. Seager, T. Williams, and Murphy due up. Severino still in the game, even though his stamina is running low. Or his energy, rather. Kyle Seager singled. Severino responds by striking out 2. Crawford is up now. And they catch the Mariners stealing, so Sevy gets out of it. That'll probably be his last inning of work. No runs for the Mariners in the 6th. Top of the 7th now for New York. Andujar, Torres, and Stanton due up. And McGill strikes out the side. Goose egg for the Yankees in the 7th. Bottom of the 7th now for the Mariners. There, Crawford, Gordon, and Smith are due up. We have a tie game. We are going to take Sevy out and put in J.A. Happ in this tie game. Gives up a 1-out single to D. Gordon.
Save. He's safe.
All right, try to pick Gordon off first. You know he's probably going to get in motion. And we got him off the base pass, but Malik Smith, with his 84 speed and 96 steal, is at first base now.
He's safe.
We're going to keep him close. Haniger batting against Happ, 2 outs. Malik Smith at first base. Haniger singles, so runners at first and second with 2 outs for the cleanup hitter, Daniel Vogelbach. And he goes yard, and the Mariners take a 3-run lead. Cargo now batting, and he grounds out to end the inning. But the Mariners take the lead on a 3-run jack and lead 7-4. Top 8 now for the New York Yankees. Hicks, Voit, and Urshela due up. Austin Adams now comes into the ball game with his bloated 8.25 ERA, facing Aaron Hicks, who has 16 homers on the season. He flies out. Voit strikes out, as does Urshela, and the Yankees go quietly in the 8th. Bottom 8 now, we're going to leave Happ in to face Seager, Williams, Murphy, and Crawford. 2 groundouts and a strikeout, so Happ works out of the 8th unscathed. Top of the 9th now, the Bombers trailing 7-4. Dan Ottavia is now in the game. He has a minuscule .98 ERA on the season. Can the Yankees show some fight and come back? Starting with Tauchman, Higashioka, and back to the top of the order with LeMahieu. Here we go with Tauchman, who has 10 homers on the season. He strikes out. Kyle is coming to the plate. We are going to pinch hit for him. Why not give Brett Gardner a chance? And he flies out, and LeMahieu grounds out, and the Mariners have defeated the Yankees 7-4. J.A. Happ was the loser. He's now 6-2 on the season. The winner was the righty Matt McGill, and the save goes to Dan Altavia with his 12th save on the season. Daniel Vogelbach with the dagger, the 3-run home run in the bottom of the 7th. He was 3 for 4 with 2 runs, and that shot that knocked in 3 that was the deciding factor in the game. So on to the next one. We'll see if we can get a series victory after splitting the first 2 games. Paxton and partly cloudy, roofs open. James Paxton, 9-0 with a 2.06 ERA, lefty. Is facing Kikuchi? Well, that is interesting. He just pitched. He must be taking one for the team, I guess. Anyway, we are going to leave the lineup just as it is, and we'll go LeMahieu, Judge, Torres, Stanton, Hicks, Andujar, Voit, Urshela, and Kratz against the workhorse, lefty Yusei Kikuchi. Coming up next.
Play ball.
Here we go. LeMahieu batting in the top of the first now against the the workhorse that is Yusei Kikuchi. He already is almost halfway through his energy. Something must have happened to the Mariners starter, and he is the emergency starter. So here we go. And of course, he gets the Yankees 1, 2, 3 in the top of the first. Bottom of the first now for the Mariners. James Paxton with 95 strikeouts in 74 innings, facing Malik Smith, who's leading off today, batting .293.
3-4, take the base.
He strikes out Smith, walks Lopes, and Haniger pops out, and then he gets the cleanup hitter out. Goose eggs after one. Top of the second now for the Yankees, starting with the cleanup hitter, Giancarlo Stanton, and followed by Aaron Hicks and Andujar. And Giancarlo Stanton lights up Kikuchi and goes big fly, and the Yankees take a 1-0 lead. Hicks now batting. He grounds out, as does Andujar. Then Luke Voit with a solo shot. Big fly for the Bombers, and they lead 2-0. And Urshela flies out to end the inning, but the Yankees pick up 2 runs on 2 solo jacks and lead 2-0. Bottom of second for the Mariners now, starting with Seager, Williams, and Murphy. A single for Seager. Williams strikes out, Murphy walks, and then the left fielder Nola with a single, so the bases are all full of Mariners, and the shortstop Dylan Moore is due up against James Paxton. Paxton gets him to pop out. Now we have 2 outs, and the base is still loaded for Malik Smith, and he grounds out to end the inning, so Paxton works it out against his former mates. Top of 3 for the Bombers now. The catcher, 9-hole hitter Eric Kratz up to bat.
Ball 4, take the base.
Kikuchi still in there, and Kratz walks to lead off the inning. Back to the top of the order now with LeMahieu, and he singles. Runners at first and second with no outs for the Judge. He pops out. Gleyber Torres comes to the plate, and he hits into a fielder's choice. Now we have runners at the corners for Giancarlo Stanton, and he triples in 2 runs, and the Bombers take a 4-0 lead. This might be the end of the road for Kikuchi. They left him in there, and he gets out of the inning, but the Yankees pick up 2 more runs on a 2-run triple from Giancarlo Stanton. Mariners batting, bottom of the third now.
Ball 4, take the base.
Lopez, Haniger, and Vogelbach. So a walk and a single to lead off the inning. Vogelbach now batting.
That hit him. He's got first.
He's hit by a pitch, and Paxton's looking a little shaky. He'll be facing Seager with the bases loaded, strikes him out. T. Williams is up now with the bases juiced, and he hits into a double play, and Paxton gets out of it again. His magical ride continues. Top of the third now for New York. Andujar, Voit, and Urshela due up. Kikuchi still in there. Andujar flies out. Voit singles, and then Urshela hits into a double play, so Kikuchi gets through 3 innings for the Mariners. Probably exactly what they were looking for. Bottom of the fourth now for the Mariners. Paxton still in, facing Murphy, Nola, and Moore. Murphy singles, and then Nola hits a 2-run jack, and the Yankees lead is cut in half, and they currently lead 4-2. Moore now batting off of James Paxton, and he doubles, so starting to catch up with Paxton here. Back to the top of the order now with Malik Smith. He grounds out. Lopez strikes out, and Haniger is retired on a flyout, so the Mariners pick up 2 runs and trail 4-2. Top of the 5 for New York, leading off with Eric Kratz. He singles, and Kikuchi is run from the game and replaced by former Yankee Justice Sheffield, who has an ERA over 7. He will be facing LeMahieu with Kratz on first. He flies out, and Aaron Judge goes big fly, a 2-run home run. All rise! The Yankees now lead 6-2. Torres batting off of the lefty Sheffield now. He strikes out, and Stanton flies out, but the Yankees pick up 2 more runs and now lead the Mariners 6-2. Bottom of 5 now for the Mariners. Vogelbach, Seager, and T. Williams due up against James Paxton. Vogelbach goes big fly and cuts the Yankee lead in half again to 6-3. Kyle Seager strikes out, as does T. Williams, which brings up Tom Murphy, James Paxton, who's starting to tire. He singles. Nola, who homered earlier in the game, is now to the plate, and he strikes out, so Paxton gets out of it with only one run, and the Yankees lead 6-3 after 5. Top of the 6th now for the New York Yankees. Hicks, Andujar, and Voit due up against Justice Sheffield. He strikes out Hicks, but Andujar doubles, so Voit will come to the plate with one out and one on. He lines out, and Urshela singles in a run, and the Yankees lead 7-3. Kratz now batting, 2 outs, runner at first, and he strikes out. So here we are in the top of the 6th. You know what? We're going to take Mr. Paxton out and put in Chad Green. Green has been inconsistent so far this year with a 4.10 ERA. Him and Aroldis Chapman have been demoted to middle relief, so hopefully in less pressure situations they can work out the kinks and be ready for later in the season. So Chad Green will be facing Dylan Moore here in the bottom of the 6th, followed by Malik Smith and Lopez. He strikes out Moore, and Smith singles. We want to keep an eye on him at first. Then he gives up a single to Lopez. Haniger now batting off of Chad Green. He strikes out. That'll bring up Vogelbach. And he strikes him out as well. So Chad Green works out of it here in the 6th. Top of the 7th now with the Yankees batting top of the order. LeMahieu, Judge, and Torres. Sheffield still in the game. He gets LeMahieu and Judge to ground out. That'll bring Torres to the plate. He singles with 2 outs. That'll bring up Giancarlo Stanton. And he strikes out. The Yankees lead 7-3. Mariners now batting in the bottom of the 7th with Seager, T. Williams, and Murphy due up against Chad Green. Seager strikes out. Williams flies out. And Murphy grounds out. A 1-2-3 inning for Chad Green. Bombers batting, top of the 8th now with a 7-3 lead. Hicks, Andujar, and Voit. Sheffield still in the game. Walks Hicks. Andujar hits into a fielder's choice and is at first. Luke Voit flies out, and there's 2 outs, and Andujar on first for Gio Urshela. He singles. Runners at first and second now for the catcher Kratz. Yoshihisa Hirano is now in the game to face Kratz, and he gets him to fly out. Bottom of the 8th now for the Mariners, starting with Nola, followed by Moore and Malik Smith. Do we want to leave Green in? You know what? Let's take him out. We'll put in Jonathan Holder. He strikes out Nola, gets Moore to ground out, as does Malik Smith, and after 8, the Yankees lead 7-3. Bombers batting top of the order here in the top of the 9th with LeMahieu, Judge, and Torres. Hirano still in the game and gives up a single to LeMahieu. Judge flies out, but Gleyber Torres goes big fly, and the Yankees now lead 9-3 on the 2-run home run from Gleyber Torres. Stanton now batting off of Hirano. He strikes out, and Hicks is retired. But the Yankees pick up 2 more runs on a home run and lead 9-3. Bottom of the 9th now for the Mariners. We are going to put Aroldis Chapman in the game and see if he can get it going here in a mop-up role against the meat of the Mariners' order, which is Lopez, Haniger, Vogelbach, and Seager. And Lopez singles. Haniger strikes out. And then a double play, so Chapman pitches a scoreless ninth, and the Yankees have defeated the Mariners 9-3. Kikuchi takes the loss. He is 4-7 on the season. James Paxton picks up his league-leading, easy for you to say, 10th win against no losses in a 2.27 ERA. So I'll have to check the All-Star votes. I would imagine that he is going to be selected for the All-Star game. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The player of the game was Giancarlo Stanton, 2 for 5 with a run, a home run, 3 RBIs, and a triple. So the Yankees win that series with Seattle 2-1. On to Tampa Bay now. We have an off day, which is nice. Aha, Gary Sanchez is no longer injured and has come off the injured list. I would like to place him on my bench. Oh, and today is the 2020 first-year player draft. What would I would like to do? I would like to go and draft. We have the 28th pick. Wonderful. Let's see here. I am going to take a second baseman. In the first round. With my third round selection, I am going to look at relief pitching. We're a little thin there. This Jason Cram is a flamethrower. I'm gonna take this 18-year-old, I think. Jimmy Forbes. Now we'll look at the catchers. I'm going to go with more relief pitching. I like this Jason Cram fella. My fifth round selection. I'm going to look at some starting pitching. Joe Nielsen. He's got 5 pitches. Round 6. These are the only guys left. I'm gonna go with a, let's see. Ooh, look at this guy throwing some seeds, Ray Casto. 98, I like that. much more impressive than Carlos Feliz, who's, even though he does have a mixture of pitches, but this Ray Casto, four-seamers 98, two-seamers 96, slider 89, changeup 84. I like that. So, welcome aboard. We'll have until the end of the regular season to sign the draft picks, thankfully. We want to exit the draft. Okay, and on to Tampa Bay.